Leo is playing with a fruit fly. He's very nervous this morning. I had to pick him up and put him up there to look out his window. That's the fig tree right back there. Leo. Yeah, there it is, yes. Anyway, this is a very ordinary Wednesday. Yesterday afternoon, I made some more soap. I always make a batch that's pretty much 3 logs like this. I'm totally out of lavender soap, so this one's lavender. Now I'm going to have to sniff to tell what the other ones are. One of these is something I called Moonlight Musk, although it's exactly the same fragrance as the Moonlight Path? Moonlight something that you can get at a rather well-known store. Let me see what this one is. Oh, this one is a fragrance oil sandalwood. It's not essential oil. That would cost a small fortune. And so this one is the Moonlight Musk. Let me smell that. I love both of those fragrances so much. No, maybe that one's the sandalwood. Well, I'm going to have to decide between those two. They're rather close. Okay, today I have to figure this out. Have to get back and figure out how to finish off that bobbin, because that's so close. I'm also going to dig into this fabric. This is some fabric that I bought at the thrift store. I don't think I've shown this to you yet. These are kind of bright, summery, bold fabrics. This is they're all cotton. This one is that kind of rough. See what that is? That's a good bit of it. How much was it? 2.5 yards. Now this is different. This is a thinner cotton. Isn't that pretty though? Roses again. This one I liked a lot. That's pretty fun. This one I liked a whole lot. A yard, $1. I like that one tons. See, I would never wear that, but boy, I sure do like it for other stuff. And then this was okay, don't laugh. This was a handkerchief. It was just lying on a table at the thrift store, and I said, well, how much is this? And she said, oh, 50 cents. Isn't it pretty, though? I think that would make a good, well, lots of things, but like a back for a pillow cover. Although it's a thin hanky fabric, and it might not last real long. Get some wear. Boy, aren't those great? So I've got plans for these. Let me show you. Okay, let's talk about bowl. Okay, bowl cozies. I'm sure all of you know about bowl cozies. They're all the rage right now. They're like this. That's a bowl cozy. Here's the bowl. This is a very old bowl. The first bowl cozy I got, my daughter gave to me for Christmas, I believe. Now it has, as you can see, a square base. I love the rooster. And fun. They're often made with really fun fabrics. And this one has 4 little points. And it's true that the bowl fits in there well. It's cotton fabric and cotton thread, so you can put it into the microwave. So you put your bowl of soup into it first. And the points mean that you can lift it like this without even getting close to your bowl. So if it's a blisteringly hot bowl of whatever, you can do that. Or if you get a bowl of ice cream and it's really, really cold ice cream, or you can also hold it like this and your fingers won't get cold if you ever do that and eat your ice cream barely holding your bowl. The other thing I did, well, let me show you what else I use these for. These are not exactly the same. This has more of a rounded base. This one I got from a friend at the farmer's market. She makes these. I love that fabric. Isn't that gorgeous? This was right around the time we went to see Van Gogh, and I was like, oh, that's very Van Gogh fabric. The other thing I do with them, I do eat soup and stuff and heat things in the microwave, occasionally leftovers, but I have a big mug of hot coffee every morning. This is my chicken mug that I think my husband got me for Christmas. Now, this is what I do. I'll put it in the bowl cozy. Now, it doesn't really fit. For years, I've been struggling with what to put around my coffee mugs, and I've made, actually, maybe I'll go back and I'll link to here or at the end to the episode where I made a cup cozy for the cup that I bought on Ocracoke. You can make this work though. I mean, it's nicer than burning your fingers, and it keeps your coffee warm longer. I pre-warm my cup with boiling water, put the hot coffee in there, and put this around it because I like to sip my coffee and I want it to stay at least a little warm. Okay, so there's that. So bowl cozies are great, and I'm thinking of using some of this fun fabric over here. Man, I can't believe that I debated whether to buy this. Isn't this the funnest? Trying to see what the name, it would help so much if I put my eyeballs on. Susan Sargent. Anyway, I love that. I'm thinking of using some of this fabric to make a bowl cozy. What I really want is what I've seen. I saw this recently on an old video of Kate. She was doing something, feeding the cats. I don't know what she was doing. No, she was in the kitchen making her morning green juice, maybe. I don't remember. But there was a little cloth bowl. She's made these before, little cloth bowls. And then she'll put she'll put fabric scraps into a cloth bowl made out of fabric scraps, which is really adorable. Or you could put bobbins in it, or you could put all kinds of things. They're not very tall because they're soft-sided, so they might collapse, if you made them really tall. But they're just little bowls. Now, they're not quite the same as this. This wouldn't quite qualify. This is too limp. And I've never made one of these before, but I really want to try. These almost splay out too much, which is perfect for the shape of a bowl because it kind of splays out. And so that's perfectly fine, but that's not really what I want. And the other thing, or maybe the same thing that I want to make, is something to just put around my coffee cup in the morning that fits it a little better. I don't need it to have elastic or a button or anything fancy. I want to be able to just hold it on. And if I did this, it would probably fall off, but I don't, I would hold it. And if I liked it, I might make quite a few. So that's my plan. I think it should be thick fabric. I don't really care if it's cotton. I'm not ever going to put it into the microwave. But in addition to one for my morning mug of coffee, I would love to have some little bowls made out of cloth. Oh, little kitty cat says, Mama, I don't know, he's upset today. Not upset. He's not himself. He's discontent. What's wrong? What's wrong? You want to come see me? Come here. Come on. Here we go, Leo. Oh, now he's purring. I love him so. All right, I've decided to do what I want to do today, and that is a little bit of sewing. After watching 2 different videos about making a fabric bowl, I rejected the first one as being too complicated and went with the second one, a lady at a YouTube channel called Chicken Scratch. And I'll put a little link up here, hopefully, to that. It's CHICN Scratch. So Chicken Scratch. Okay, so she says, I'm picking 2 different colors. I really like these 2 colors together. This is going to be a very small, roundish bowl. Now what I'm going to do is put right sides together. This will be the outside and this will be the inside liner. I'm not sure that I'm going to even use any interfacing because, or any kind of stabilizer. This is such thick, hefty fabric. So I'm going to sew seams here and seams here. They're going to be identical. And then I'm going to cut a square notch out of each corner. And then I'll show you what I do after that. Now, this is my first fabric bowl ever to make, and so it's going to be full of mistakes. Or the process will be full of mistakes, and the bowl. But one thing I failed to say was that the lady whose video I'm watching, she had the fold down here, so she didn't have to put a seam on the bottom. I failed to do that. These were just cut squares. So I did have to run, I'm using 1/4-inch seams on everything, unless I feel like there's a great need. Otherwise, I spent so many years cutting 5/8 of an inch seam. That's over 1/2 an inch on everything. And then as soon as I sewed it, I cut most of it off. And I probably wasted and threw out yards of fabric in seam allowance. So not doing that anymore. Anyway, there may be times where that's important, but I don't think a cloth bowl is one of them. The important thing is for these two, the inside and the outside, to match. And so what I'm going to do here, maybe I will use my straight edge though, kind of hold it down, is just to make sure that these two match as far as these notches that I'm cutting out. I thought this was just a brilliant way to do this rather than the first one I watched, which was so complicated. This is quite clever if it works the way that she said it should work. Again, I'm using a watercolor pencil because it will wash out. Not a big deal. Okay. This is about 1.5 inches from the sewn edge square that I'm cutting out. The lady I'm watching, she loves those little clips. They look like little teeny chip clips. I bought some of those. But this fabric is so stiff and grippy that, I mean, I didn't even pin it. I didn't do anything. I just laid it together because it really wants to stay together. Okay, now let's see if, let's do the inside fabric first in case it doesn't go well. All right, this is what she did. This is why you want it to be a square. So you fold it like this and it makes a straight line, and then you cut across that line with your, if you can get these little doohickeys open. Anyway, I'll open them when I get there. And you sew a little seam there, and that's how you enclose it. So this will be a pretty small seam. Yeah. Okay, I'll bring you back when I'm done with this. Now when you finish with those little seams I was talking about, look what you get. You get a nice flat bottom. It's not a circular bowl exactly, but I think it'll be close. So there's my first one. Now I need to do my second one. Okay, so I've done the second one, and then you turn it. Looks like this. Now she made a point of the fact that you want, now I don't have any interfacing and stuff like that to worry about, but you put the right sides together. So the right side is on the inside and the right side is on the outside, and I'm going to put these together and make sure that the little corners are poked out, but most of all you really want the side seams to line up. Let's see if we can get them to line up. Okay, now the lady on the video says, as I showed you, to put the right sides together and then you sew around the edge. Now hers is a little more complicated because she has a company tag on hers, and she has lining, fusible interfacing kind of stuff, some almost like a batting. But she leaves an opening so that she can turn it right side out. The thing is, I really feel like, and these, I'll tell you, these clips are hard. That is hard on my thumb to open. I'm not sure what I think about them. I think for me, pins are easier. Okay, so what if, instead of turning it, what if I started with my wrong sides together, and it's, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. That should be admitted from the get-go. Okay, what if I started with my bag in its kind of finished position, wrong sides together like this, and got it all lined up. Can you hear my rooster outside? And then what if I just turned over? I could even trim this and then just turned it over and stitch it, or I would really love, what I'd really love is to have a lip of that. Isn't that cute? Do we like that better? Or do we just, oh, I love that. This fabric just slays me. This rich, deep red, oh, I just love it. I think I'm going to have to do that. Much as the orange is fun. I'll see it when I look inside the bag. Okay. See, look, without even any stiffening of any type, that just stands straight up. So, to take some of the bulk out, I'm going to trim the top off of this. Don't look if this kind of sewing makes you nervous. See, if this had been done correctly, these pattern pieces would be smaller from the beginning. And nobody in their right mind would be snipping them off when we were this far along. Is it terrible to say that this is exactly the kind of sewing that I enjoy? And I'm sure that it will show in the finished product. Okay, that'll remove some of the bulk in that liner because it really is only in there to look pretty on the inside and so that we don't have any raw edges showing. Although, you know, I wouldn't put it past me to have raw edges showing on the inside. Okay, it would be nice to have at least the side seams lined up. How are we gonna? It's still pretty high. I could just leave. Could have that raw edge. Some things are made and the raw edges are deliberately showing, and they put zigzag stitches and do all kinds of crazy things. Oh, my pen just. Oh, there we go. Now, the lady on the video said that she stopped using pens because she was constantly poking herself and bleeding on her fabric, and she sews professionally and that kind of thing. And I thought, you know, I don't know that I've ever bled on my fabric. Let me do this the other way. I do want to be sure. I'm going to turn it so that I can sew it on the outside. I just think that is the prettiest fabric. I just love it. I just love it. This is just going to be a little notions bag that's going to sit on my sewing table right here. It'll probably be holding those clips that I'll never use. And maybe I'll put, oh, I can't remember if I showed you. Forgive me if I have. These. Yes, I think I did mention these. I'll put these in here too. That probably means I'll end up poking holes in the bottom of it. If you have the sides even, you can just kind of pull it like that and make sure that it's pretty even. But isn't it the nature of a little fabric bowl that it should be a little wonky? Don't we think it should be wonky? I think so. I still have the universal gray thread on my machine that Kate talks about, and I'm just lazy enough that I'm not going to take it off. Okay, now what about a zigzag stitch? I think that's possible. Now she also, no, it was the other girl who did quilting on this. I just love it just the way it is. I really do. I'm such a fan of that fabric. Okay. I am going to turn this. Okay. And now it'll be laying the correct way. Take our little thread bunny. Look at my, I see the reason why I think it might be thread bunny is that when it gets to be this old, it's actually hairy like a bunny. Eventually, I think it'll just be all threads sewn on top of each other. That's why I think it might be a thread bunny instead of a thread buddy. Although it is a nice little friend when you're sewing, so it could be a thread buddy too. Okay, so I do have, my husband considers it fancy that I have a machine with a zigzag stitch. His doesn't. He wants to do machine embroidery on his old machine, and it doesn't even have a zigzag stitch. I'm not sure about that. Okay. Now I do like these little snips. They are not too hard on the thumbs. And you can get really flush to the fabric. All right. Now I may trim that edge a little bit. look at the, oh my goodness, I like it so much. Okay, so here's a little bit of a close-up. The zigzag stitch does not look jakey, as my grandmother would say, at all. It looks pretty good. Somehow, one little zigzag stitch messed up right there. And you know, it kind of matches this lavenderish color, so it looks like it's almost supposed to be that way. Okay, so the inside, now that zigzag stitch looks funky on the inside. It did catch all the way around, so that lip is all the way down. I think I'm not going to mess with it on the inside anymore. It's big enough I could put that in there and this in here. And all of my little clips. Or the other thing you could do is just clip these around the edge. I wonder if they loosen up after a while. I bought some and Adam bought some. He decided right away he didn't like them and he gave his to me. And so now I'm stuck with all of them. But look, isn't that just the cutest? You know what's cute is the fabric. It has nothing to do with my little attempt. All right, so a fabric bowl, utterly imperfect, adorably cute. Yeah, I'm liking that. Well, thanks for, this was probably, what, a half hour at the most? Well, I'm going to have to make some more of these. I might get better at them. All right, I finished the second one. There it is. It was even easier than the first one because I didn't have a seam on the bottom because I used the fold. And even those little, would you call them mitered corners? I don't know. The little corner sections, the cutouts that you sew, those were even easier the second time around. I made the lining fabric a little bit taller. It was too tall, so I cut off about a 1/2 inch strip along the top because I did want the fold, I wanted it to fold right next to the top of this outside fabric so that it would, the rim would be nice and sturdy. Okay, and then and I pinned it. It was turned inside out then, and I just ran a zigzag stitch all the way around the outside. See that? Now that's not going to work for my coffee cup. I wonder if this is the thing. Of the two, I like this one better. I like, it's short and squat. I like that. I don't know, they're both okay, but I really like this one better. I don't know why. Who knows why? I'm wondering if it would fit with my coffee cup. I don't want anything fancy that has to like slip over the handle or anything. I really don't care. Well, yeah, maybe I do care. That looks kind of wonky. Okay, so this will be a work in progress to figure out what to do. Do I need to have some kind of a slit in the side for the handle? Do I just need to make it bigger for the handle? That may be the solution. I don't really like them openings and elastic and all that kind of stuff. Isn't that? I like this one better still. But I don't want to be negligent to this one. This one's pretty cute too. What do you think? What should I keep in this one? Something a little taller. This one seems perfect for, look at all that it holds. My pin cushion. This is an interesting thing. I can't remember what it's called. Something about bees. It's about, you can kind of make an I-cord with this, if you know what an I-cord is. I bought myself a new tape measure. All the useless clips. We'll find use for them someday. And my little snips, I could probably fit more in there, but I think that's enough for now. Isn't that cute? That's fun. This would be good for keeping pens in and stuff on my desk. Maybe I should show you. I'll turn it around and show you. You don't want to see this, do you? Do you? I don't know. So my desk. I'll try to cover up anything in there that shouldn't be shown, but this is water for painting. This is a little bone dish. You know what a bone dish is? It's for putting bones on your plate when you're eating. Anyway, my mother gave me that. It's a candlestick. I really should take some stuff off of here that I don't need. I could put glue in that little, see, this would work. Glue. glue. Actually, I think I have too much glue for that. There's another glue. See, all this paraphernalia. Now, I'm sorry, I changed things in mid-sentence. All this paraphernalia obscures the beauty of some of the things I have here, like this beautiful piece of pottery. It's hidden behind all this junk. I bought a little yogurt at the grocery store simply because I wanted that jar. It was nice yogurt, but I wanted the jar. This is another one I have loose watercolors in. Oh, that must be for dry paint. This is actually, oh, and here's this. This is my favorite little, it's really hidden back there. I've got to do something about this. This is another candle holder, and another, there's an old teacup of mine I couldn't bear to throw away. It had a crack in it. And then this is a wooden rack. I've showed you this before for holding all my paintbrushes and watercolor pencils. And I've got lotion. I've got an antique typewriter back there. Where is he? Oh, my laptop is sitting on top of it. And I've got paper on top of it. See? Now, it's taken up a lot of space, and lately I've pondered getting rid of it. This is all Kleenexes for watercolor painting. That's what I use to blot with. It's a frightful mess. It really is. And then over here, this is my OED dictionary, which I hardly ever use. I use the dictionary on my laptop, but this is really good for pressing things. Like these two books down here are books that Adam made, and they were starting to rise up. So I'm flattening them under the power of the OED. The OED is the Oxford English Dictionary. This is the shorter version. Yes, there's a longer version. Anyway, so that's my desk, and I think it needs a little attention. This has gone on entirely too long, so I appreciate your patience. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Look at this. I made another little fabric bowl. I love this. This is Happy Happy Fabric. I love the dark blue background, which is kind of serious, nighttime. And then you have all these flowers just bursting to life all over it. Wonderful colors. This has become my new Notions basket. Okay. You fit so much stuff in there. I really like having these things handy. And then I did that fabric on the inside, which I thought that the orange would go well with all these orange flowers you see there. Isn't that you guys can all laugh at me out there if you like. But I love these little fabric baskets. To me, they are whimsical. So you may wonder what happened to my other Notions basket. Well, I'm using it as a little place to put a ball of yarn when I'm knitting. Now this little ball of yarn is really small now, but it does hold a nice ball, and it keeps it, because it has a flat bottom, it keeps it from rolling around anywhere on the floor or on the couch or on your desk when you're knitting. So that is the latest on the fabric baskets. I think I've made enough now. I can go ahead and publish this video, and you can decide what you think about them. Thanks a lot for keeping with me on this little project. Bye-bye.